Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Brittany and I am back with another video. I am the owner of Out of the Box Virtual Assisting. So this morning, I'm going to be talking to you guys about slope creep. Slope creep. Slope creep. What is slope creep? Slope creep is when you have a plan of action or a list of tasks that you're supposed to do with your client, and slowly but surely you get pulled into other tasks. For example, let's say you were only supposed to do calendar management and email management, but then one day they say, hey, actually, can you help me with my social media page? That's slope creep. If they say, hey, actually, can you help me run my podcast, find the guests, book them, edit the videos? Slope creep. Because you were only supposed to do two things: calendar management and email management. Now you're the social media manager and the podcast manager. Because as a freelance virtual assistant or as a small business owner, you kind of want to please the client in every way possible. And sometimes we allow ourselves to be taken advantage of, and that's the truth. We want to do such a good job. When we serve with our whole hearts. And because of that, clients will sometimes push the limits and they will slope creep. Some clients do it accidentally. They're like, oh, well, can you help me with this? And because you say yes, they go, oh, great. They think you have the bandwidth and they think that you have the time and that they're paying you enough to do this extra task because you didn't say, actually, that's an extra cost. Or actually, you need to add more hours onto that. Or actually, I don't have the bandwidth to take that on right now. You have to be vocal in your business to make sure that your business do not overwhelm you. You set the parameters for what you will and will not do. You are not their employee. I repeat, you are not their employee. You are a freelance small business owner who will one day be a large business owner and hopefully a multi-million-dollar company in Jesus' name. So again, you just have to make sure you do not allow the clients to overtake you. You have to control it. So, how do you control it? Contracts. That's the first thing. Number one thing, contracts. In your contract, you should have an outline of what your responsibilities are, what your business hours are, what your turnaround times are, what can they expect from you. Are you closed during certain holidays? All those things should be lined out in your contract. I will make another video about contracts as well, but for now, we'll kind of do a brief overview of what that would look like. So again, you have an outline of what you are agreeing that you would do. So if they start to slope creep, you can say, hey, real professionally, when we signed the contract, I actually agreed to do these tasks. If you would like these other additional tasks, you can even have a list of different people that you work with. So for example, if you know a podcast manager, you can say, actually, I know someone who does podcast management. Collaboration is where it's at. Make sure you find a really good podcast manager to connect to so that you can refer your clients to them and they can refer their clients to you. Also, if you know someone who is a social media manager, you can say, hey, I actually have a social media manager. So the number one thing to prevent it is contracts. Just a little small tip that will help you to gain clients and to build good relationships is know who else manage other things that you may need to send clients to, and then they can send it to you depending on what you do as a virtual assistant. So the second thing that you could do, communicate. You have to let them know that they are slope creeping. I know, I'm like that. I don't like to talk sometimes about, hey, something's wrong. I don't really like to do it, but it is necessary to say, actually, this is kind of an additional task that I typically don't do for you. And then again, I gave you some suggestions on what you can do. You can offer it for extra fee. You can tell them that that's not a service that you offer at all, or you can refer them out to someone else. Number one thing. Number two thing, and then I think the third thing that I would do to say to prevent people from slope creeping is, again, to make sure you yourself have parameters. You gotta control your own self. I know how hard that can be sometimes. I know how hard that can be sometimes to not want to do all the things to help your clients, because we are servants at heart, which means we like to serve at heart. We have to put parameters around our own self. Whether you got to write it down to tell yourself, I will not do this, this, and this. I will not do this, this, and this. I don't like to do. Please know what you don't like to do. I don't like social media. I don't. So I'm not going to offer social media management because I don't like social media. And I remember at one point taking on social media management for a client because I really wanted to help her out. And to be transparent, I really need the money. Sometimes we really need the money. Write that down. Make sure you do not do things that you cannot stand just for money. I'm telling you, it is not worth it. It is not worth your sanity. It is not worth your peace, your dignity to take on something that you know full well you do not like doing. Make sure you put parameters around yourself so that you will not upset yourself later on. My goodness, so important. So those are all my tips for today. Please keep those things in mind. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you follow me on social media as well. You have a beautiful day. Catch you all next time. Bye.